if you want.
Nah.
I'm very thirsty.
Okay, so we gotta address this. Josh from the Den of Nerds. I'm gonna speak his name. I'm not afraid to name anyone. Jeremy, Josh, whatever the hell. Everyone else on the panel will say their piece and what they want to say, but I'm gonna say no one censors me. I went live with my video earlier. I demand an apology, and from some certain takes on some of my friends here about they're a little bit too aggressive with the community. He said he was going to throat punch me before. Yeah. So that a little bit of hypocrisy there, I think. And then call me a bad actor. I think your whole announcement and follow through was bad acting, that you actually care about this community when you throw them under the bus and drive over it when it doesn't benefit you, when you're waiting for that big YouTuber to jump on your movement. No, I'm not going to take it. I'm not here for money. I am here for people. These are people. It's not hard to build a movement. All you have to do is start talking to people, treat them with respect, and not second-class citizens treating your sub count like you're high and mighty. Arrogant, a-hole move. You treat people like people, it works out. That's as simple as it is. Treat fandom with respect. Treat everyone with respect. Make time for people. And boy, delusions of grandeur. 100K is nothing on YouTube. I'm not saying cancel Josh or anything or like that. I want him to succeed. But man, what does he think he has? You need community. You need to build people up. Just because that big fish didn't come along for your movement, you let it grow cold, and then you're going to talk about me and my friends behind the scenes, behind a paywall, when you said that's not what you were about, when you had issues with me when I first went at you. The only reason I stopped commenting on Josh was because of this man down here in 2nd Street Marvel. They vouched for him. They gave him respect. They gave him the benefit of the doubt. And the moment when it gets a little bit difficult, what does Josh do? Here's how you show the integrity of a person is what they announce and what they follow through with. And also not giving your platform to anybody. This was not to build this wasn't to build up a movement to gain people, in my opinion. It was for himself and eyes on his channel that might be struggling as it is, might be hitting that sub wall. So that's my thoughts, but I want to hear from these great valued members of the Great Order. And yes, it does have leaders, and I 1,000% think that even though it might have been an idea in that little nerd den, these are the leaders of the Great Order, and we want to talk to as many people as possible, and we want to build up, grow all together, grow a community, and it's about people. It's not about clicks or algorithms. And hell yeah, I know that hosting live streams, talking to everyone I can, does not help me in the algorithm, and I don't give a shit. Maybe he should have given him a little bit more of a shit to people when you announce stuff. Okay, so I've talked enough. I'm sorry. I got hot again. I want to send out the link. And you know what? These great YouTubers, these great voices of fandom are going to tell you how you can join in on a conversation, hash it out, treat people with respect, treat fandom with respect, and you can't ignore things in fandom either. That's another thing I'd like to discuss maybe. Maybe we'll save that for another video. But I want to go to my pal, Darth Lunga. The only reason I joined the Great Order, the only reason it still exists, and man, a person that's not participating in the order, in the movement he announced, and he still is wish-washy fence sitting on the end. He can't even announce what's happening with it. Passes an aggressive way of creating a stream, talking about stuff we're talking to and not including us, using our talking points. These ladies, even if you don't like me, I'm not an articulate guy. These ladies and Lunga could have added so much to that conversation yesterday. That's a passive aggressive way of trying to take back what we kept going. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, Josh. And you know what? I'm not going away. They might, the rest of the Gray Order might want me to stop talking about it. I'm not stopping till I talk to you directly. I hope, I think you should offer the main stage, not necessarily me, but to these ladies you disrespected. I think you owe them a chance to get some of their questions answered of what went wrong, or maybe just an apology. I think you owe an apology to a lot of people, including the whole fandom itself, trying to use it for your own ambitions instead of actually building something what you claimed. False claims, false news, nerdy news, false news. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna tweet it. I'll keep talking forever. I gotta just shut up. Sorry, Daddy.
I mean,
how do you follow that up, man?
Yeah. That was on the fly. I didn't think of anything. Like, I just went straight.
You're just a really passionate person.
If it was any other subject, trust me, I could have followed it up. I mean, can I follow it up? Sure.
Okay.
But here's the thing. At this point, I'm more concerned just about the future. That's all I'm concerned about. You know, whatever his involvement was or wasn't at this stage, and even prior to it, is irrelevant because there wasn't anything there. So, I'm not personally. Again, I have no ill will towards Max saying what he's saying. He's perfectly entitled to say whatever he wants, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just not going to go it that way, just because to me, at least for how I want to do things, and it's not about me. Okay, it's not about me. It's not about Max's channel. It's not about any of our individual channels. Okay, this whole thing, for at least for me, from the beginning, has always been about community. It's always been about breaching that divide in the fandom for people who think differently, to be able to at least talk about it like we always used to, okay, without gatekeeping and without shaming people for what they like or don't like, or calling people not real fans. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Now, am I aggressive sometimes? Sure. Okay. I know I am. That's my personality. Okay. And I'm aggressive towards people when it's deserved. At least I feel it. I mean, no, we all have that, we feel things are deserved, maybe they're not, but if you're doing things that are detrimental to those tenets that I mentioned, if you're doing things that are gatekeeping, if you're doing things that are shaming people and not allowing people to the table, like Firewater likes to say, and you can't sit at my table, then you know what? If I'm going to have to aggressively counter that, I am. And I do it on an individual basis, okay? Or if it becomes a group of people, like in that stream I did, which apparently got everyone's hackles up, okay? It was deserved at the time, and the person in question I was talking about came to me afterwards and said, and he apologized, and we were having open dialogue now, at least, what I mean? I'm not saying we're BFFs, but I am all for redemption. And, he said, I didn't like what I did, and I accepted the apology. I told him it's not even me that apologized. It's to Irish and other people.
Hey, Max.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people who are a bit confused at where you're coming from and how this subject came about.
Irish just cleared it up.
Oh, she did? Okay. All right. I have a lamp right here in front of the live chat because I have really bad lighting, so I have to look at my phone, guys.
Yeah, you most of you viewers will not know because just like he announces something when it benefits him, when he's trying to cover his ass, it's done behind a paywall and won't really face the issues. And talk bad about my friends. I don't know everything he said. I know I was mentioned in that Patreon stream. I know a lot of people were mentioned. These people here are the thing that kept your order alive.
No, it's not.
And they deserve a voice. And if it wasn't about getting new voices in, what was it about?
Well, I have a theory on that.
Okay.
I think he was shooting up flares to try to get the big old YouTubers to notice him, and it does not appear to be successful.
Right.
I think that, his whole thing was to, what he could have done if he's worried about live streams killing his channel, he could have just created a separate live stream channel. I believe somebody in the chat, forgive me, I don't remember specifically, said that he started a separate live stream channel. And so he could have hosted an hour chat with anyone here or anyone who's interested in joining and kind of have conversations that, hey, this is what the Gray Order is about. Maybe this is what you should, it may be beneficial to you. It may not be, but let's have a discussion about it and let's live stream it. So that way other people can see it too and they could agree or disagree. But he chose not to do that, which I thought was an interesting thing because it doesn't seem like he has a time issue unless he does. But him going behind the stream or behind a paywall for the stream is that's a low value move. To me, that's just kind of, when you told me that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I don't know. I think I think it was a mistake. He seems like a nice guy, but that to me is kind of like kind of have to question his character a little bit, you know.
Here's another friend of mine, Matt Jarbo, who is interested in the Gray Order, and I think I'm speaking for you, Matt. I think you were kind of ignored as well. So there you go. There's more proof. People want to talk. People want something like this. But you got to build it from the ground up. You got to do the hard work. You can't just announce stuff with no follow through.
Right. No, I agree. Because he made the announcement video, which was a clickbait video regarding the Phantom Menace. And then he didn't really do anything from there. He
went on Collider, Rule of Two, because that was another big platform. Whatever the small fries, we're the small fries. I'll admit it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
don't have time.
I don't even have a YouTube channel, or I do,
right,
but like I deleted all my videos. But like, it's crazy though, because it seems like again
you don't respect the community that you created. If the majority of people in the order are saying, maybe we disagree the way he Longo went for something, but he still has done his benefits way outweigh everything else. And he tries and he talks to people. The more people you talk to, you might make a middle fumble every once. I should know. But talking to people is worth the effort. And that's how you grow. I don't see any effort except, and here's another thing. Okay, Josh, we would have all followed you. If you want to steer the conversation, be in on the conversation and don't complain about it after the fact from your little nerd den hug box that's your Patreon producers, $100 a month. Those are the only people that are agreeing with you right now.
Well, yeah, why not have a conversation with the people that here's why I started it, here's my thought process, here's what I wanted to happen, here's what didn't happen, and here's what we're doing now. I don't understand why he had to go behind a paywall and
because that's his echo chamber.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
that's not building a community. That's getting your yes men that agree with you.
Or is it's keeping your funding source happy?
Yeah.
Maybe they were displeased with what was going on. And so you're going to follow the money. Like I say with the Fandom Menace, follow the money. It's a similar thing. Follow the money. Getting on bigger channels, that'll give him bigger exposure. That'll lead to more money. Helping you guys out or me out, it's not profitable.
But yeah, here's the thing. I didn't even want his help. I mean, it's not like when he offered it or gave it, I'm not gonna say no. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. You want me to come on? I'll come on. Are you gonna come on? Sure. Well, but it's not like I was like messaging him saying, "Oh, help me with this, help me with that." I didn't care. I was doing my thing. Okay, I was doing my thing, and that's it. And if he's a part of it, great. That's why I started doing it. That's not how he feels. So.
I talk too much sometimes. I really want to hear these ladies because even though me and Longa go about certain things, these are innocent bystanders that are being dragged through the mud, guilt by association. How is that good for any fandom or movement you're creating? These ladies did nothing wrong, and they should have been on the conversation. Not that we did either, but they're being dragged through the mud.
I don't think anyone's done anything wrong. I honestly think it's the Star Wars community online is just, as we know, incredibly toxic, and the Gray Order was created to get rid of that toxicity. It was to have that community where people could come together. And so I'm not one for conflict. The more you guys see me on live, you'll know that I'm just going to be kind of swimming through it all. That's who I am as a person. But I guess I just want to read this one. I'm just going to read this, and it's honestly how I feel. And I love it. It's great. And all right. Flowing through all, there is balance. There's no peace without passion to create. There's no passion without peace to guide. Knowledge fades without the strength to act. Power blinds without the serenity to see. There is freedom in life. There is purpose in death. The force is all things, and I am the force. This is the code of the Great Jedi. So that's just something that I really like to focus on when I'm thinking about the Great Jedi and the community and the Grey Order. So that's just what I'm going to leave right here because I don't really want to say anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vashti?
I'm still navigating, like still processing. I would say that I'm disappointed, at the very least. And as someone who is supporting Josh's channel as a Patreon subscriber, and tried to contribute as much as they could, to building what I was led to understand was a welcoming narrative. I'm a little disappointed, more disappointed than anything really, that he hid his true feelings behind a paywall. It wasn't just the Patreon subscribers that built Josh's channel. There are 115,000 other people, who are just as responsive and who stay just as committed, that just can't afford to make that kind of sacrifice. So it's just like for you to hide your real feelings about your fans behind a paywall. And there's several tiers, who knows what information is available where, and when it comes to paid speech, that's just kind of where things, I have to say I'm out. I can't support that. I can't, I am only here because you all gave me a space to be here. And no matter how big this gets, no matter how much we differ, no matter how much we argue, you still gave me a place to be here. Mm-hmm. And you have my word on that. I commit research and time and a lot of labor, to try to deliver, not just a service or a product, but perspective. You guys demanded fresh perspective, and I work very hard to try to give that to you consistently, even though I have been invisible up until about a month ago. So I'm not a follower. I chose to be here. I was elected to be here because I had something to say. I had something to contribute. And I believe that everybody had something to contribute, no matter how much they were paying, the end. So basically it's just, I am trying everything. Max is trying everything. Lunga's trying everything. Ren is trying everything that we can with our knowledge of Star Wars to keep it fair, and give you all an opportunity to say the things that you, in a very literal sense, cannot always afford to get across. Yeah. So I'm tired of the gatekeeping. Do I love that, this is, kind of devolving into a bitter divorce? No, but I want the Grey Order to continue because it's what made me hit the subscription bell. When I was promised, a community and that there would be a real effort and a commitment to facilitating an environment for that, that was all it took. And I know I'm not alone because look at everybody that's here. So, I harbor no ill will. Mm-hmm. I am desperate to move forward because I want my content to have purpose. I don't want it to be manipulated I don't want to have to share it or frame it for a certain perspective. You all respect me enough to be transparent and honest, and I respect you all to respect each other as a community. So that's why I'm here. I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm not here to tell you whether you're a real Star Wars fan or not. It's not up to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to try to do everything with my team to make sure that your contributions and your perspectives are not just seen, but acknowledged.
Well said.
That was wonderfully said.
So I want to be here for everyone, as many people as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I think we're all wanting a community. And fandom has to be a safe space. I don't think you can let things go unchecked because people get so upset with fandom they just leave. So you can't just ignore the issues either, is my point of view. I always put fandom first as much as I can. I've gained some great friends here. I thought Josh was a friend, and I held back because of this guy. This is the guy that is one of his biggest supporters. And even if you didn't like what he did, is that a friend when you disagree with him to say, I don't really want much to do with you anymore? That is gatekeeping.
Yeah,
You're gatekeeping your own movement. I'm sorry, that's not right.
I want to there's a couple questions in the
Yeah. I was looking at this.
want to address.
All right.
Mhm.
I'm sounding weird on my end. Can you guys hear me okay?
No, you sound
Yeah,
you
you're
sound
fine.
you sound beautiful.
Oh, it just sounds low on my end for some reason. Just to mention a couple things I saw. Which one did I see? Yeah, Fanjecture said, what was said, and I just said that's up to him to talk about. He hid it behind a paywall, so that's up to him. If he wants to talk about it. Someone also said if Josh wants to discuss it, then he'd be welcome. Yeah, we're always welcome to talk. That's the whole thing.
I definitely want to talk to Josh. I got lots of questions. I know these other panelists may not want to go that way. I have nothing else. This is what I'm here for.
But that's
If
also
you wanted to, I'm not going to say no.
yeah,
but
like
that's gonna happen. So
No, if he really wanted to have an actual conversation about this, where
On the
he
on the phone,
fully acknowledges his faults and, his lack of commitment, even honestly, I would be welcome to something even less conditional than that. It goes against our whole concept if we deny him.
All right.
Period. So
I think that's reasonable.
I literally don't want to deny Den of Nerds or Josh. Like, I think that's part of when you were speaking about disappointment was, I think that's what I'm currently struggling with right now is that disappointment. Because I just remember thinking, like, to be honest, Josh and Den of Nerds, you were like the most genuine Star Wars channel out there for me that I watched. You guys were like the only ones that I followed. And I just couldn't really, you guys were it. Like, I respected you guys so much. And to kind of lose that respect and feel like everything almost feels like a lie is just, I guess, really disappointing. There. Oh gosh, I said it. I said that live. Wow.
Jason has a comment here. Respectfully, Max, I'm not sure it would be a talk. I behave myself when I need to.
Yeah,
I go hot to get the conversation. Lunga knows. When we've had our first stream together, I behaved.
He knows how to behave.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to say this too, because let's be fair. It's YouTube, and we know there is money in YouTube. Okay, people do make money, and and I'm sure most people agree. No one is saying there's anything wrong with having a business sense, with wanting to, make money and protect your brand. There's nothing wrong with that. No one's saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just questions when you start to change the way you deal with people or use people in a way towards those goals. That's when I think it becomes more of an issue. for me. That's when
condescending.
that's when I don't necessarily like what I hear or what's going on is when I see that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I personally, I've had all the talks I want to have with Josh. I have nothing left to say to him. Okay. All I'm saying is if he came up and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you guys on a stream," I'm not going to say no. But I don't see that happening because his answer typically to all this kind of stuff, and historically, as I've seen it with other people, is he just pretend it's not there. So that's what I'm going to see happen.
I feel like I'm being stood up and it doesn't have the guts to tell me that we're not a thing anymore. Right, really, no one stands up this madman. No one. You don't want to. And I think we were trying to come to terms behind the scenes where we're just going to do our own thing and not address it. But then you crap on us behind the scenes, and then you don't even address it, and then it's still going forward with no real clear-cut direction either way. Puts everyone in limbo because you can't be a man. You can't man up and actually state what's going on. I think it was pretty evident from yesterday's stream that he was just going to act like he's doing what we were been doing the whole time.
Okay.
That whole live stream yesterday was like what we've been doing the whole time.
We should also clarify that the live stream that you're talking about is the Patreon stream and not the stream that was accessible for the rest of
the public stream, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, the other one.
Okay, so that's
stream yesterday.
Okay, so that's the type of conversations we were fostering the whole time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he distances himself from some of us here, not everyone. I don't know, most of us here. And he's doing the exact same thing. And he is very hypocritical and's done throat punch. That's good to say to a subscriber or viewer.
Cool. That wasn't cool. That wasn't.
And you're a bad actor. And then he's going to criticize Lunga. I think you did the exact same thing, bro.
Hey, Curtis, I wear Jack glasses too. What's the problem with a guy with glasses?
I also just want to say that no Star Wars YouTuber is a saint.
Oh, right.
No, neither.
No one on YouTube is.
No, touche, yes. But like to act, yeah. I
don't know. You two get close. Maybe these gray ladies might get close.
What? Max, are you deterring this conversation?
What's going on in the comments?
What's happening? What did I miss? Was that a response to the comment?
No.
Oh boy. So I'm gonna kind of try to go through the comments here.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
I do want to say we started with this was not all confrontational content that we started. We did some really positive stuff. And when me and Lunga came up with the Stream Junkies idea, we wanted it to be a gray order thing. We wanted to get Josh involved. But and I think it's a great idea, and I think it has the opportunity to catch fire. And we want all you viewers to be involved. That's the difference you get with us.
Josh wanted to be involved with Stream Junkies.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
You watched our first live stream.
You watched our first live stream.
Really exciting. I loved his involvement, and then all of a sudden he ghosted. And
well, again, I said I didn't want to talk about, but before if they want to know one thing flat out, okay, Josh's little problem was me. That was me. He repeated multiple times, "It's you." So just call a spade, be fair, because that was his issue. It was me. Okay. And he's guilt by association with everyone else, just because, not because he has an issue with anyone else, but because they seem to like you, even though I don't, so I can't be associated with anyone else.
The hell's that being a friend?
God forbid, like
that's
here's an easy fix, Josh. When you have an order, you say, "I don't agree with Lunga, but he has the right to speak in this community." That's all you had to do.
And mind you, there's no hurt feelings on my part. I don't care.
But that's all you had to do.
For a couple months, it's not like it's no get off of my fucking heel. I don't care.
Didn't Lunga deserve that?
But
benefit of the doubt.
I like your binge buddies hashtags. Thank you.
Yes, binge buddy hashtags. Yeah. It's not even that, Max. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about what he thinks of me. I'm worried about here, you have a newsroom. Let's say there's a newsroom, okay? And you have op-ed columnists and you have straight up reporters, okay? Straight up reporters give the facts, give the news, very little emotion. And you have the op-ed people who go far off on whatever side their news station is and go full bore on op-ed, blah, 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 blah. But in a newsroom, even though they handle things differently, they still get along for the sake of delivering whatever they're delivering to their audience. Okay. And the audience here, and I'm not saying just because there's the issue. He's thinking Den of Nerds audience. I'm thinking audience of people that like this and wanted to be part of the Gray Order. Okay. Not Den of Nerds audience, not my audience, not your audience, not his audience, everyone who wanted to be a part of this. Okay. And if he's hurting anyone, or if anyone deserves any kind of apology, or what he's doing is not good to anyone, it's all of them, not me. I don't give a shit because he's not hurting me, my feelings, any shape, way, or form. My channel's growing despite him. So he's not hurting me, if you get what I'm saying. He's hurting the people who felt inspired and cared about it. That's who he's hurting. You know what I mean? And that, to me, that's the biggest thing of this. And that's why I'm even more doubled down into doing this. That's why I set up the Discord the way I did. That's why I'm sending the link out to everybody, even though people, there's a, you know how many people do Discord where it's only like it's like a paywall, basically. Like you get the general channel, but if you want to be part of the real discussion, you got to be Patreon supporters and this and that. And it's like,
That's
no,
a thing.
oh yeah. Ambassador did it with Doomcock. The Ambassador was telling me how he came over here. He's like, I love Doomcocks because you had to be like Patreon supporter to like really get into the conversation with anyone. Yeah,
paying money,
have a
okay,
conversation.
I know it's a business, but paying money to have a conversation just seems so incredibly ridiculous to me.
Yeah. Like I get
Penny for your thoughts.
I get like if you have a channel on your Discord,
Yeah.
Patreon, like if you have a channel for Patreons only to talk about behind the scenes stuff or new things, that I understand. Okay. But you know, you still want to, you know, if the only way you engage with your followers is through a paywall, that's kind of shitty to me. You know, I'm not saying don't give the paid people special things. You do, but it doesn't mean piss on everybody else. You know what I mean? That's the thing that's like annoying to me. But I made the Discord and I'm giving it to everybody. And I encourage all you guys. I put the link in there. I think Max has it in the description. Join
We're
up.
having a fun time. Join us.
Talk. People have been flowing in there. We're up to almost 40 people already after like a couple nights. So I mean, come in there and we'll have discussions. And here's the thing. You know what? If you're a Fandom Menace person and you hated the movies, and someone like Bashti and Ren love the sequels, you guys can still have a discussion. And at the end, say, you know what? We're all Star Wars fans, even if we don't agree. And that's the whole point of it. That's what we want to do. It's not about saying your ideas are wrong and you're stupid. And this is it's about saying this is what I like. Oh, and then have a debate or discussion. But at the end of the day, saying, you know what? You're still a fan too, just like I am. And if we don't like certain things or agree on certain things, that's what the end of the day, what it's supposed to be about. And that's what we're trying to do, and have these discussions with other people. And you know what, even if I go hard on certain people in the Fandom Menace, it's because, you know what, we can all be better. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be mean to fucking people just because you don't like their opinion on Star Wars, or you want to like twist it into they're weirdos because they have a different
weren't all Star Wars fans weirdos at one point?
Thank you. That's the whole point.
Like, it's cool now to be a Star Wars fan, but initially, I'm not that old, but sorry, you're not old. So that was.
Well, I'm old. I'm old as fuck.
I'm getting old. I have a little bit of gray hair right now. It's frustrating. But
when you made that video, Longa, it was because there was gatekeeping there, and then what's happening in the Gray Order now, or Den of Nerds, not the Gray Order, is another form of gatekeeping. So it's a big issue in fandom. It is a hot topic, and it's one of the most important things. A topic. You deserve your right to be a fan. No one should say you're weird with a blanket statement.
And then wonder why, then say hashtag not all when the Fandom Menace gaffes.
Yeah.
Right. Why do they get to do that? And that's one of the things I'm critical of them about.
I guess like what's best, I just don't understand. I'd love to like be a part of the mindset just to see why people react that way, the way they do, why their initial reactions are, oh, well, you're wrong. That's really shitty. Or you're incredibly weird. You're sick. You have mental issues. Like, what?
Do you want to know why, Osaka? I have a theory on this. Let me see if I can explain it for you. I will do the best I can. I think they're afraid of being gentrified. Here's what I mean by that. Comic books and Star Wars became more mainstream.
Okay,
It used to be a nerd thing back in the day. Now you got the MCU printing money. Star Wars did well financially, not as good as the MCU, but did well, made money overall. And I think what's happening is they're gearing towards more of a mainstream audience, and the fans that were fans from the beginning, let's say, or fans from when they were young, because maybe they weren't alive during the beginning, are feeling like their money's no good anymore.
They're literally like the hipsters. I was a fan before it was cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. I used to say that when I was like in 8th grade.
I'm at fault for feeling that way. In fact, like underneath, I feel that way towards a lot of things. But I think, and I'm not going to say that the choice that I make is like the right choice to make by avoiding those like deep, dark thoughts or whatever of trying to impose your own opinions on others. But I just think, I guess I don't understand like why that can't be your own personal inner thoughts. I get
because the sense of entitlement is because I operate under the premise, if we don't understand something, we're not calculating enough variables, right? We don't have, like Tony Stark said in Avengers 9, I can't do the equation unless I have all the variables. So you're right. So it doesn't make sense. It's irrational. Why can't I mean, one of my questions for the Fandom Menace is, why can't you just enjoy what you want to enjoy and then live and let live? I don't understand. Well, I have to say Raylos are weird. Why? You know, like you can't really monetize them. I'm going to be honest with you. Like people, they have to get their digs in because they have to generate buzz. And unfortunately, I feel like 2020 is going to be a fun year to watch the Fandom Menace YouTubers.
Oh, no.
I think it's going to be hysterical. Because we might see Homeless happen live. No. I'm just kidding. They'll live stream it though, right?
He's throwing right now.
See, they're taking my couch. Can you give me a super chat, please?
There is another thing of it too, and I'll explain this because it happened to me. Okay, it happened to me too. To be fair, when the first criticisms of The Last Jedi came out from fans, hardcore fans like me, okay, when we said things like they're making Rey a little too one-dimensional, when that there's no training, she's just doing everything great. When we say Rose Tico wasn't a good character, people were being called right off the bat, not anything else. We're being called misogynist. We're being called this and that. And I'm telling you, because it happened to me and I saw it a lot. It was really, really prevalent. Just like the alt-right section on the internet and Twitter is bad, some of the crazy far left is just as bad too. Like now, what they did is they overcompensated. They completely overcompensated. Now they're acting the same way as the people they were upset with. They're just labeling and
they're off the rails.
Yeah.
Off the rails, exactly. So that's what happened, you know. And they forget that Twitter is not the world. It's literally this small subsection of people that have nothing better to do, and they just want to play, you know.
Is so funny.
Yeah. So that's the other thing of it. So I get where they're coming from, and they felt attacked, and they felt safety in numbers, and they felt this is the only place they could be, so they just agree with what everyone says. I mean, most people are followers. Let's be honest, they're followers.
But I think what happened too, though, because Star Wars wasn't done. So if I had to guess, I think Lucas thought 7, 8, and 9, no matter who did it, it was going to not, you know, it was going to get dunked on by the fans. Yeah. So he's like, all right, let me sell to Disney. At least if I get dunked on, I have $4 billion to soften the blow a little bit.
And he's still hero because he's like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. He's got plausible deniability.
Exactly.
You know, and as smart man. I mean, and so I think what happens is they feel like they don't really have a place anymore because the band changed their style. They're not doing the old punk rock. They went to alternative now. Or like if you listen to Incubus, they used to do funk metal. Now they do alternative. They were one of my favorite bands growing up. They still are one of my favorite bands because I think all their stuff is great.
I have a fun story to tell you about that. Yeah, we'll get there. It'll be a nice breakup for all the heavy stuff.
Nice. So that's what I think. That's what I think is going on, and I think that they don't know how to handle that. And so they turn to people that are just monetizing that confusion. And it just seems like, to me, it's now that the saga's done, there's a point, whether you liked it or not, it's done. And so you still got I'm in the Discord for Ryan Kendall because I actually like him. There's still people bitching about Ryan Johnson. I'm like, hey man, just what's your end game? Are you gonna die mad?
Yes.
Is that what you're gonna do? You're just gonna die mad? Okay. I choose not to get angry about it.
Stay angry.
Yeah, stay angry. Hashtag die mad. Hashtag cover your drinks. Hashtag pay at the door.
I am mad, but I don't want to stay that way. That's
No.
why I made these friends here.
And I want to
Right, and I understand that, Max. Like you said, you're not and actually you stuck to your guns.
Yeah.
All these people lined up to go hate watch it. Like, why would you spend money to be angry? You can be angry for free.
Yeah.
I don't get
I don't want to be mad.
It costs nothing to be this way.
Exactly. I want to address the one comment there from Levon Media. He said, even though I joined TFM, well, in the GG Discord, at least I have an open mind and wanted Star Wars to be better. And then he says, I don't want Lucasfilm to attack any fans by calling us names. Now, I know where you're coming from, and I understand what you're talking about. Okay, Brian Johnson was a bit of a douche.
Yes.
Okay, he did not handle it the right way at all. Kathleen Kennedy, kind of
doesn't handle anything.
Yeah, she doesn't handle
God,
she's the Josh. Josh is very much like Kathy.
Okay. But here's the thing: you're really to say Lucasfilm is kind of a misnomer, because what you're really mad at is one director who only did one movie, and the president who most people can kind of agree she's kind of mishandled it. And even people who like the movies can say they've just mishandled it with how they've rushed things and how they've done. Even people who like the movies can say that she made her mistakes. Okay, she's not going to be around forever. I really personally think she's going to resign at the end of her contract. Okay, and she's going to move on to her own greener pastures, and she's going to say, mission completed." She's going to be like George Bush on the aircraft carrier with the sign behind her, mission complete. I made the sequel trilogy, and she's going to go on her merry way, and then they're going to get someone else, maybe hopefully Favreau. So I mean, if you could say, listen, I don't like Ryan Johnson because he said these things. Okay, fine, I get it. If you say, I don't like Kathleen Kennedy because she's messed things up, fine, I get it. But that's not Lucasfilm having an agenda to say, fuck you, white boys. That's not what they're doing. That's just people that have an opinion, and you don't like it, and that's fine. I'm not saying you should like it, but it's not all Lucasfilm. It's not this deep space conspiracy, whatever, the deep state conspiracy inside of Lucasfilm to.
Yeah, but that's what they need to sell. Like I said, I guess being a YouTuber beats working a real job, I guess. So, I mean, they need to keep the drama alive. The culture war has to continue indefinitely.
Yeah.
And they have to continue to supply the arms.
Or it has to evolve.
Just like, how much do you hate life to be so angry all the freaking time?
I don't know. I couldn't live life that way. I'd have to change my mindset. I'd have to move, work, get a new job or whatever. Do something to improve your situation in life. I think other people, you know what it is? These nerds for a long time, they got shit on for being Star Wars fans. And now they're getting shit on for being old Star Wars fans. And they're like, enough is enough. And so they want that catharsis. They want to dunk on people on Twitter. And, I got Jeremy. He reminds me of the guy who used to put my head in the toilet in middle school. So I'm going to go with him. And he's a charismatic guy. He is. And he's parlayed this situation very well at least previously very well for himself. He might have to go back and work a day job soon. Because, like I said, his analytics got cut in half. I don't know how much debt he took out, but oof. Audis are not cheap.
Why do you think it's starting a gaming channel? Why do you have Darth Barbie?
Yeah, he's got like 4 people watching that shit. Nobody fucking cares.
You see the new channel they're doing now? Now they're trying
Sports Wars?
No, Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Recreation. That'll bring in the views.
No, it could though. They do really good.
All right, Max. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. If he goes there and says Kathleen Kennedy's an idiot the entire time and runs around the park and says that, I think that'll get views.
He is drunk 3PO.
Oh yeah, he'll save your brand.
Yeah. They literally said in the tweets, let's help this channel grow so we can afford to send 3PO to a different park every day.
Does 3PO not have a day job?
He does. He does, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
Well, one more thing I want to say. I want to bring it back to Josh. I'm spread so thin. you don't even realize, bro. There's so much stuff you don't even understand. It's condescending, arrogant, and most of the people I think everyone on this panel has a full-time job.
Yeah, I work more than full-time. So yeah.
Right. Participates in this community, makes live streams and videos, and still has time to talk to people. 100K is not, I'm so busy, bro. You don't even know all the things.
Bro, I'm turning down personal appearances because they're just not, there's not enough money there.
Get off your high horse. Get off your high horse.
Twitter, and I have people writing my scripts, but I don't have time.
Oh, that scripts. That's another thing. Just talk to people. Just talk to people.
Or even like maybe, honestly, if you're running out of ideas, like talk to people and ask what they want to see. I think that's one of the most simplest things. Like, that's how you get satisfaction with your viewers. Like, what do you want to see? What content do you want? And I think that's what we're working on with, I was about to call it Steam Junkies.
Steam Junkies.
Also,
well, I mean,
also
that could be taken a few ways.
He's insulting. He's insulting
gaming. Steam, and that's what I thought about.
Oh no, I was just trying to talk about your vaping problem.
He's insulting to the intelligence of his own viewers to come to their own conclusions by saying, Lunga's part of the Grey Order. I don't like what he did here, and let the audience decide for themselves. He has to gatekeep and push him out or not associate with him. You're not giving any respect to your viewers to say he could still be part of the community. I don't agree with what he did. It's a very easy fix. Very easy.
I just
say I don't like what he did here. That's all he had to say, and that would have been his right to say it. But oh well, that's how you handle shit. You're not handling anything, bro. Not handling anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think going behind the paywall again was dirty. I wasn't even aware because I saw your stream partially. I was kind of had a little break from work there, Max. I was on my phone, and I was like, "What is he going on?" I'm like, "What did I thought we were good, and then we're not. We're really not good."
I started my own group a week before he announced the Grey Order live, and after talking to Lunga, I said, "You know what? I like this guy. I think he's real. I'll just go with him. I want more chance of success, more talking to more people, many people as possible." So people have sacrificed for this. I don't know.
I was gonna kind of piggyback, and I was actually gonna tell the story about Incubus. So this will be a fun. What do you like? I don't even know what you call this, but it'll be a fun story. So Anecdote. There we go.
That's a fun word.
I love that word. Not enough to remember it, but I do like it. So I'm not sure if people here in this stream like to get out much, but once upon a time, I used to be very into concert culture. And I also used to be very, very into Incubus. And so I got backstage access to a sold out show in my hometown. Woo. And it was packed to the brims. It was in a high school auditorium. There's no air conditioning. There were no windows.
What year was this?
This was in the early 2000s. And I distinctly remember crowd surfing, and Brandon Boyd had a trucker hat on, and he threw it into the crowd. The crowd went apeshit. I'm mid crowd surf, but I am less than a foot away from the hat. So I grab it. I see who's attached to it. I see that it's a girl that's about my size, and I literally repeatedly punch her in her fucking face till her nose breaks and I get the hat.
Oh, bud.
She's literally blind from all of the blood. So my point is that nobody gave me any shit for beating this girl blind to get that hat, because we all would have done the same fucking thing to get the hat. Now, I'm all assuming that we're all pretty passionate Star Wars fans. Things are going to get pretty fucking ugly. And sometimes people's eyes, I'm hoping they won't get blind with blood, but people are going to go really hard for their perspectives. I just want everybody to remember here that it's like we are doing our best to provide that environment for you, because I remember how important it was to have my little community. So like and to get validated and to see my fucking crew every time that y'all, I go hard. Y'all.
Oh man, I'm a little shocked. I'm all
hard to paint.
So it's like I'm just letting, and I have that same commitment to all of you, but it's just like I'm gonna fight that hard for your freedom of speech and your perspective to be heard, because that is the point. You know what I'm saying? If you follow the tenets, we don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's supposed to make you all feel like you belong again. Because I'm tired of everybody just having these stupid labels and having to define their proximity or their 3 degrees separation from Raylo or just like what, like who, like no, like it's just it's so much. So it's just like you show up, like if you've got the fucking gear, we'll respect you. If you've got the fucking like whole like anthology knowledge, will respect you. If you literally got there like me backstage for free and you're just happy as fuck to be here, we will still accept you. So it's just like, just respect that this is a space for Star Wars fans. And if you're not a fan, then you're probably not going to have a lot of fun in here. But if you are, you're absolutely going to get heard. And that's where it is. So, and sorry if anybody's like blood phobic, but it, you know, it happens. So
you went all right Johnson on me there with that Incubus story. I was like, what the?
Yeah, I had no idea where you were going, and then all of a sudden, wow.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's just my point, is it's just like we all go for our fandoms a little bit different. I was obviously a little more committed than she was, but that's sometimes the point that it gets to.
Just because she didn't get the first hit, right?
Huh?
Just because she didn't get the first punch, right?
Oh well, she couldn't tank the hits apparently.
No, they were coming from overhead. I was literally punching down.
I don't have any hats.
Well, it's okay.
I'll punch you in the mask.
I'm so disappointed right now.
I will use violence to get my needs met.
I gotta watch my throat from Josh, especially now. Am I gonna be all right after these 2 videos?
I'm gonna bring a lead pipe. That's my favorite murder weapon.
Guys, I'm not an Incubus fan anymore. It's
okay,
fine.
well,
we don't need to start a GoFundMe for it. I made plenty of money off.
Wait, can we start a GoFundMe for you to become an Incubus fan again? Because I think a little bit of money would help.
No, it doesn't. I have no qualms with Brandon Boyd and their new vision. It's just that, you know, my tastes change. I'm not willing to
metal, yeah.
You know, I'm not willing to fight as many people for it as I was maybe like a decade ago.
Hormones,
so
right? It was all
you know,
hormones.
like
Hormones.
it's just.
You ever go to a 311 show? That shit's dope. I've seen them about 10 times.
They play in my hometown like 3 times a year. They absolutely love where I'm from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like there's a season.
So
311 season, yeah.
On the opposite, speaking of concerts, now we're getting a little bit off topic, but if you ever go see a concert in Japan, like they'll all stand in lines horizontally and vertically. It's super organized. And they'll just stand there. And they'll just like kind of bounce like this, but they won't exactly move. So I went to see, the first time I saw Paramore was when I was living in Japan. And the only ones in the front of the stadium were like the Gaikokujin, so the foreigners. And so we're like, okay, we're going to go up there. And that was also the first time I crowd surfed. I didn't punch someone, but I did think I was going to die.
All right. Well,
that's concert I was.
I'm making an executive decision because it's on my channel. Matt wants to talk about it too, about his interactions with trying to join. So I'm going to send him a link.
All right.
So I sent Matt Jarboa like because he was interested in the Grey Order.
Oh, and
I'm-
everyone, by the way, if you guys are here, this Sunday on my channel is going to be our official Hello to the Gray Order stream.
I can't be there. I'm out of town.
You can't be there.
I'll watch wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
I think
But we're gonna go over like the tenets and what we expect of people. And mind you, when we say what we expect, it's not policing. That's not what we're talking about.
We don't tone police here.
Right.
No.
It's not
No, there's no gatekeeping the fandom.
no.
right. Well, not
And
well,
there's no calling people weirdos
right.
or saying I can't associate with you anymore just because I disagree with you.
The
That's
only
not
thing-
gonna,
I might
that's
call
not
you
gonna,
a weirdo if you like grapefruit, but that's about as like aggressive.
Well, the thing is, if you're saying anything, if your disagreement to an argument involves any kind of malicious intent or is attacking a person for their person,
Yeah. Don't attack things that people can't change.
Right.
You know, that they physically cannot change or cannot afford to. Like, that's basically it. Like, if they can't afford to fix it, or if literally they were born with it, like, leave it the fuck alone. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, it's just like, just leave it alone. You know, it's like, because it's not relevant to the Star Wars conversation. It has absolutely nothing to do with the perspective. It's nature versus nurture. And that's a whole conversation that we should should save for discourse another time.
Nature versus nurture is a false dichotomy.
Yeah,
All right,
like
all right.
conditioning. Yeah, like no, we'll save it. Like,
I do want to hear from Matt because I think he had some interest in a group that's positive but's not afraid to talk about the issues.
Yeah.
I think if you
yes,
skate past the issues and don't have it's easy to criticize people that are actually having conversations. Once you have those conversations live, you understand not everything goes the way you expect. You have to, give
if you don't talk about some issues, then it's just fluff.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with fluff.
just
But
say
just
your fluff.
Just say
Be
you're fluff.
transparent.
Right.
Say your fluff. Cash them shill checks and be transparent.
Man, where's my shield checks? You know, I promoted Star Wars. Where's Disney? Damn it, where's my money? You bastards. Yeah, no, I agree. I think there should be more positive conversation. In fact, I kind of thought that's what the whole gray order was for. I remember when Josh brought that up in a video. He's like, I'm doing this gray order thing, man. It's gonna be effing cool. And I hit him up privately and I'm like, I'd like to be a part of this. This was back in mid-September.
Have you heard back?
I talked. Yeah, I did. I talked to him twice, but we had 2 conversations. And so when he put out that video where he said that no one had wanted to join, that was after our conversation by a couple weeks. We had talked privately, and I had brought up like, yeah, I like the idea. I like to be part of it. Never got any kind of real, callback on that one. And but the thing is, I know the reason. And the reason was because of my past controversy. So because we talked again a while back, and this is before Star Wars came out, about going on and like doing some talks and whatever about Star Wars. And he was basically like, well, I don't want, he's like, your controversy could impact me negatively right now. Like your reputation could impact me negatively. And, and look, here's the thing. I'm not dumb. Like, I understand business. I understand Josh in regards to branding. Like, I get that mentality. But it doesn't apply itself very well when you're also talking to and about other people and their thoughts and their feelings. So
Exactly.
It just doesn't work that way. It's a very binary way of looking at the situation, and that doesn't work out well when you're trying to build a movement. So I was kind of confused. The thing is, I get it. I told him I get it. I still get it. I wasn't in the best way to describe it from Josh's perspective is I wasn't brand safe, because he was worried about having me come on his channel and then there being blowback from people that were like, oh, well, he reported people on YouTube. Like that. That's what they're going to, even though this thing happened almost 2 years ago, they're still going to bring it up as being this like massive thing. And he doesn't want to deal with that kind of blowback. And I get it. But like lately I still watch his content, but I've noticed that he hasn't really been moving the needle in regards to growth. And he's got to be feeling that around this point, I think. So maybe not throwing the smaller people under the bus is perhaps the best course of action, because the smaller people are the ones that are dedicated that will help rise you up.
Yeah.
So that's really what it boils down to. Is I've been doing this game a long time. I've been this is what next month will be 8 years since I started doing YouTube. Started actively making video content roughly every day. So I've been around. I've seen a lot of stuff. If you guys know anything about Gamergate, I was involved heavily with Gamergate back 6 years ago. So I know about these movements and the building up and what can happen and why it can tumble. And when you have a movement of people that are all about the same things, you can see it rise. Look at the Fandom Menace. While I do not approve of, Jesus, most of what they say, you cannot fault the complete unity of their community. You know, and that is something worth, I think, approaching from some level of respect. If you're going to start something and then just sit atop this throne and let other people do the work and still try to benefit from it, in this day and age, ain't gonna fucking fly on the internet.
Right. I agree with that.
No. And it also revolves. I mean, especially when you're doing a movement and you're using YouTube as the vehicle.
Yeah.
It revolves around personalities, and not just a personality, but a variety of personalities. Because a movement isn't one person. It's a group of people, and a group of content creators rise out of it. You know what I mean? And people in that movement will rotate between different people because they like this person or like that person. But there's personalities involved too. And I don't know. To me, sometimes feel like there's a little bit of ego that gets involved too. And
There's always ego. I mean, let's be fair. There's always ego, right? Like I go to VidCon.
Camera is ego.
Yeah, I go to VidCon, and I've been to a bunch of different YouTube events over the years. I've got ego. A lot of my friends have ego. It happens. And it's when you go predominantly unchecked for a long period of time. And that happens to a lot of YouTubers who get into this, creator mentality, which is where I'm the one producing the content. I'm the one creating the material here. And you're just lavishing me with praise. Now, I was on a stream last night with Josh talking about, some of the situations involving politics and pop culture. And it was an interesting discussion. And he was having on regular people. You know, he dropped the link for StreamYard in the chat.
A little deal. That stream,
yeah,
was immediately after his paywall stream.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's okay. But let me also say, as a person who's been doing this full time for years, I have no issue with patron only paywall streams. People are paying for access. They are paying for your time. That is something to take into account here. You know, like when we create content, we're using our time. And if this is our job, then we still need to be compensated for our time. That is just how things work. So I don't have any problem with doing a behind the scenes page. I do patron streams occasionally. But most of my stuff's pretty open to the public regardless, but that's how he's, getting money from people who want that private access.
Right. Now, the Gray Order has nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay. Was it a Gray Order stream that was private, or did Gray Order come up in the conversation?
That Patreon stream was all about talking about me and the Gray Order.
Oh, well, see, that ain't cool. Like, that ain't cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, see, the other thing is, Matt, can you see that me, Lunga, Asakaran, Firewater, and Boshti have been doing this for months while he was absent, and then not including us, talking about us first, and then doing the same type of content? Me and Boshti had a video just like that Sunday where we really went into the politics and the pop culture. It's co-opting what other people are doing, not giving them credit, not including them anymore in the conversation, talking about the behind the scenes.
Well, okay, so I will agree with you on one part and I'll disagree with you on another part.
Okay.
I agree with you because I honestly kind of forgot Josh was involved with Gray Order. I was actually going to ask one of you that the other day.
I think he forgot. Yeah.
I was going to ask one of you guys that because I watch his videos, and I'm a third party in all this. I've reached out to be involved, but I never really got involved. And I watch his content, and he doesn't ever really bring up the Gray Order from what I've seen. He might, but I just might not have seen that video. And he does a live stream in the morning. But I noticed this weird sense of arrogance in a live stream he was doing about the Obi-Wan situation. This is like a week ago, where he was like, he brought up what Ewan McGregor had said, and then he goes, what? He's like, yeah, but what does Ewan McGregor know about any of this? Right? What does Ewan McGregor know about what's going on with the Obi-Wan show? And he said it. Yeah, he said it. He did. I'm paraphrasing, but he said it, and I just kind of sat back in my chair and went, like, how the fuck does that work? Like, how do you being the star of the show, who's in, I reached out to my friend who's Access Media, by the way, and I reached out to him and I'm like, what do you think of this? And he starts laughing his ass off. He's like, dude, these people know exactly what's going on. They have to. They may not be able to tell everything, but they're going to give you a bit of information. They know what's going on, whether it's a deflection or not. So anyway,
I thought a little bit, but they know what's going on.
Yeah, I thought that was such an arrogant thing to say, but it's because Jason Ward had given him exclusive information and he wanted to play. I like Josh. Let me just be abundantly clear on that. I like Josh, but when I first talked to him, he asked me if I ever read this book, like the 48 Points of Power or 48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah. So
we've all heard this speech.
Yeah, we've all heard it, right? And so that was the thing, is like I'm like, okay, for one, like I get this. Like I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, like I understand the YouTube business world. This has been my thing for a while. So on that level, I get where he's coming from. And when he's like, oh, I'm a branding guy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, dude, this is not about that. Like YouTube is not a branding place. It isn't, not anymore. It's about personality and it's about community. And if you fuck both those things up, you are done. And I know because I've done it. I fucked both those things up publicly, very publicly and very embarrassingly, and I'm still recovering from it. But that's part of it, is that's the shit that goes on. Like, why do you think if Jeremy comes after me for something or other, he always brings up the flagging thing? Because that's the only thing he's got, but he can lord it over my head. That's the mentality of this kind of shit.
Now, I have a question. If they're not for cancel culture, isn't that bringing that up constantly? Isn't that effectively canceling you?
Yeah, no, it totally is. I mean, let's be fair here, Firewater. They're fucking hypocrites. All right. Absolute point blank, full stop hypocrites. But never let, they'll fight till the end of time claiming that they're not. But anyone with, I don't know, 2 eyes, a brain, and fucking any ounce of flesh on their body can see it. But, but anyway, on the other side, what I disagree with on the Josh thing is that, oh fuck, I lost my point. I had a point I was going to disagree on.
Sorry,
oh, no, sorry,
I messed it up.
No,
That's
you did.
fault.
It's okay. No, I got it back.
No,
I got it
you
back.
did. You're supposed to make me feel better. You're like, no, you fucked it up.
You fucked it up. God damn it, Firewire. No.
Here's to do with the paywall.
No, I do. I remember what it is now.
Okay.
So when it comes to the co-opting of conversations, dude, fucking YouTubers do this all the time. Like,
I know.
Like, you can't even I know. I read articles, right? Like, I was one of the first people, if not the first YouTuber, to turn on a webcam and bring up OBS and pop an article on the screen and do it. Like, literally, I started doing this in early 2016 before so many other people did it. Then everybody started doing it. So it's you can't. It's you can't hold it against anyone. People are gonna they trend search all the time. Like someone like Josh is gonna trend search because what he's doing is he's going to Star Wars leak subreddit. He's the Marvel spoiler subreddit, and he's looking to see what other people are talking about. And he brings up Jeremy Conrad and Charles Murphy and the scoopsters that have been proven wrong time and time and time again, right? But he brings them on because they're in the moment now. They're hot. And he can get them on, he can build off of that. And that's what he does. And that's what a lot of other people do. I mean, look at Emergency Awesome, Everything Always, The Stupendous Ways, The Cosmic Wonder. All of these channels who've amassed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers, all literally just pull from the same content.
Oh, right.
So that's
it's obnoxious the time frame he did it.
Sure. I get that.
We did it the night before.
Yeah.
That's the conversations we wanted to have with him. And he excluded these ladies and Longa and me. I'm not saying me specifically. I was at work, but these ladies could have joined the conversation.
Sure.
They may even have discussed things with him about it, and then they're excluded from the conversation.
True.
That's not a way to build a community.
It's not. But I think at this point we've kind of determined that that's not what he's about.
Yeah.
Right. It's in that regard, in regards to the Gray Order. Now, I listened to you guys on Sunday, you and Bashti having that conversation, and I thought it was a great conversation. It was really entertaining. So thank you.
She could have added so much to the other one.
No, I completely agree, and it's his loss for not having her.
Yeah.
So, and that's the problem with people. And it's like this. I've got on at the height of my other channel, I had 165,000 subs. So I know what it's like to be in this position of I don't want to say power over smaller YouTubers, but having that position. And sometimes
would you say feelings of supremacy, perhaps?
I tried personally to never have that. There are I've never been the type to not talk to people and not engage with people that have lower sub counts. I'm not that kind of person. But on that note, I have not been very good at trying to bring smaller people and prop them up. And there's a big reason for that is my own imposter syndrome that I feel all the time. And that's my own psychology at play, where I don't feel like I can, I bring, if it's going to benefit them. You know what I mean? So like, I don't do it. I don't like to ask anyone for anything, so I don't like to do it. So that's my own personal fault right there that I've been trying to work on. But I know people that are literally like, you don't have X amount of subs, so I'm not going to talk to you, right? Like I usually am under the $3 theater account, but if I'm not getting attention on, let's say, a live stream, I'll jump over to the Matt Jarbo account where I'm verified. And I go into a live stream and I talk and I say anything in there, all of a sudden, because there's that check mark, now people recognize me in the chat and they see me, you know, and they'll pay attention if something I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not exclusive to Josh. It's just typical YouTube BS.
Yeah, and I get it. And it's frustrating as fuck. It is frustrating as fuck, dude. You know, you go to VidCon, you hang out with these people. Like, I'll put it to you like this. In 2017, when the adpocalypse happened, a lot of us that were in the commentary community at that point decided to work together. We were like doing live streams with each other all the time. We all went to VidCon. We got fucking hammered together for days. It was a great time. And we were trying to navigate this new world of YouTube, right? That none of us knew what to do with, because everything was changing so rapidly, because PewDiePie got thrown under the bus by the Wall Street Journal. And then all of a sudden, you know, at the end of the year, one guy threw one of us under the bus and then found out how much money could be made by attacking his friends, and then turned it into a full-time gig, attacking his friends over something that was completely not true, and then ended up getting completely courted by literally members of the alt-right, where he became an alt-right mouthpiece for about 6 months, where he was making money hand over fist by bringing on white nationalists and racists and anti-Semites and everything, platforming them constantly while still throwing his friends under the bus, to the point of where he went full on insane and tried lighting his nipple on fire in a live stream. You know, like, this shit can destroy you if you are not fucking careful. And I've seen it happen. I've been a part of it myself. So it's like, the key thing is, like, as much as you might be mad at Josh for this, fuck him. He's not in here right now. You've got what? How many people are watching right now? 45, 40 people. You had 50 earlier. I came on and everyone left. That's fine.
I was just gonna say that.
That's what happens.
Damn it, Turbo.
Yeah, that's what I do. Fuck it. Whatever.
I still have him on. I like him.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, you've got, you know, you do your binge buddies. I'm not calling it stream junkies. Fuck you, Lunga. Anyway,
It's Steam Junkies now.
Steam Junkies.
Yeah,
okay.
dude, hashtag vaporwave. Like,
Okay, so you guys are skirting ever so close to getting a copyright violation from Screen Junkies. I get it. But no, I like, the thing is, you Max, like, I want to be perfectly honest with you, and this goes for all of you guys. You guys are actually really fucking inspirational, even to people like me. And I say that because you guys don't care. You jump on here, you talk about whatever, right? Like, I was under this, I'm a nice person by nature, and not wanting to cause fights is something that I generally tend to do. I'm more of a people pleaser, and I will pick fights if I feel I have to. But for the most part, I care, and so I don't do it. Like, again, when it comes to someone like Jeremy, I don't have a problem. I will fucking jump into that. But for the most part, you come out here, you say your mind, you say what's on your mind. You've been building this small community. These people are always here for you. They're always here to watch. You've been bringing on more people, like Asaka and Bashti here, and Firewater, who I like listening to Firewater quite a bit. He cracks me the fuck up. and I'm out at night doing my shit, and I listen to you. I have it on notifications, and that's why I got pissed off. Like, why the fuck didn't it notify me until 30 minutes after goddamn started? So that's what I'm saying, is like, what you're doing is inspirational to a lot of people, and you're building that small community. So don't get caught up in Josh, because he's stuck in his own rut. And focus just on, like, you know, having the conversations and doing that. And that way, one day you'll definitely surpass him, because he's going to be doing the same thing, because in his mind, it's what's brand safe. And that's what's going to get him stuck. And you are just going to be doing whatever you want to do. And people are going to like that, because, you know, YouTube in 2020 is about personality, right? It's not about algorithms or branding. It's about personality. And a lot of us old schoolers who are fucking stuck in this rut, and I'm stuck in a rut. A lot of us who've been around for years, we have trouble breaking past that because we've just been doing the same thing forever. And that is our conditioning that we have to break. So you're kind of in this great moment where you actually have the opportunity to really boost it up and to go out there and to make a fucking name for yourself, man. And so I'm really happy. I love watching you do it. I even watch these streams when I'm not like catching them live. I'll sit in bed, play video games, pop my earbud in, and listen to you guys talk for half an hour.
Thank you.
So
That's
it's
good
like
advice.
I like
That's
it.
good advice. I appreciate it, man.
That's the best advice I
You're
can
always
give.
welcome too.
Not what it's not about me, but it's
I'm just saying I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So
and
that's my thoughts on that one.
That was really
That's why
lovely
I
to hear.
fall
Thank you.
in it too, and then we all, I'm sure, except for I speak for everyone, we all thank you for that. With me, like I said, I'm not mad at Josh.
None of us are mad.
No.
Well,
Steve, yeah,
maybe one.
Well,
your name, Matt, is
mad,
literally.
Well, that's
in
your name, so I mean,
yeah, it's a part of the check, man.
right. But
it comes with you.
I'm disappointed, maybe. Like I said, I'm disappointed. And again, when I say I'm disappointed, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with, oh, I'm disappointed because he doesn't like me, or I'm disappointed because he has to say like 50 times, it's because of you. I'm not disappointed about any of that. I'm just disappointed that the people who were looking for this and people who wanted this, that with his influence could have done a lot more. You know what I mean? Not that we can't, and we will, and we'll do whatever we can. You know what I mean? I think we're doing great, but it doesn't hurt to have someone like that involved in it. You know what I mean? So to me, it just feels like a betrayal on people that were looking forward to this. You know what I mean? The viewers and people out there that
and I could say with all honesty, I think every single person on here wanted him to succeed and would have backed him. God have gone the whole route with him. As the leader.
I agree. That was the plan. Like, I really wanted to see it. I was super excited for him.
And I mean, and here's the thing. It's just, it's not so much like I'm disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in his character. I'm disappointed in the political calculus. I'm disappointed in, or the lack thereof, to be really honest. I work with all personalities for a living. I'm in advertising. Like I'm on the other side of the fence writing those shill checks while you guys are cashing. And it's just really sad because it's like Josh had a real opportunity to create something real, and because of conflict of direction and because of just a lack of faith in the fandom, that he had to not really make it personal but target people indiscriminately, and lash out like a child. Like that's, if I have a problem with any of it, it's just the fact that I came here to try to help build because I saw potential in everything that everybody was contributing all the time and needed a place of safety, and it was really frustrating when you get into these conversations like one-on-one with Josh and you get baited, where it's like, oh, I used to be a former Raylo. Like, I absolutely understand that perspective. Or, oh, I can side with the fandom menace here. Or like the antis are justified. Or go Storm Pilot. I'm totally pro whatever. Like, it's just like, it's always a different handshake. And it's just like, if you watch his streams enough and you just watch like the content, you just start to realize that he can't ever really commit to like one what's the word that I'm looking for? Sorry, I speak like 3 languages, so English is the hardest one. But basically it's just like he can't find that like sense of self. And I'm sad that this even had to happen this way, because it's like nobody wins this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the fact that we had to, Max this is the second stream that he's had to do on this. You know, I'm coming home from a 10 and a half hour day, having to address this, you know, not saying that you all don't deserve it, but because the person who started it thought that you didn't deserve it unless you paid for it. So it's just like, I don't know, like, it's not a blame game for me. It's just that there's problems that need to be fixed. Everybody's tired of the blame game. Let's just get our hands dirty and fix it. Like, I don't even like ever want to talk about, you know, like Josh and his contributions to the Gray Order post this today. Like, I want this to just die so we can move on with the things that we have planned for you guys. And
which include as many people as possible.
Yeah, like it's not about our narrative, it's about yours. So it's just like, we still welcome you to contribute. We do have different themes for content coming, you know, but yeah, if anything, we're just sorry that you were forced to make a choice. You know, that there was even a compromise in the first place. It really should have just been an organic movement, and now it's a reputation shift, and it did not ever even have to kind of be this
and
way.
People don't act. Final thing I'll say about Josh is don't act like people didn't show up, because people came to join this community. Just maybe not the big fish, but people came. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, though, you don't get anywhere with the big fish.
Right.
Because the big fish are out for themselves more than they're in it for you. And that's just the truth of the matter, right?
I'm sorry, I'm going to just jump in. The big fish have way more at stake. They have investors invested in their branding. Their brand is not theirs anymore. Like, people don't understand, like, at 100,000, at 500,000, you still have autonomy on YouTube. But once you start hitting those plus millions of like subscribers, your brand aesthetic it's investment dollars. It's a brand that's being fulfilled. It's not a person. It's not a thing. It's a fucking business. And people need to understand that it's just like, you have to invest in smaller channels, because if you want authentic reflections of the community participating, you're not going to find it in accounts that have several million follows. It doesn't happen that way. Like, sorry. So it's just like, I'm not like trying to plead a case, like, because, you know, we don't have that many subscribers. It's just that if you want direct input, this is where you're going to get it. And, you know, trying to play these games and getting people really, really big to like do you a solid and lend their fans to you so you can build something. Like, it was just a bad decision. I don't know, like, whatever. I'm fucking like really over it and tired. I've been up since like 4:30.
I think we all should end this stream here soon, because I'm still not feeling well, and I have a long day for work.
I just have a quick question for Matt Jarbo, real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Matt, you still there, my dude?
Oh yeah, I'm still here, man.
Okay, yeah. Just a quick question. You've been around Gamergate. You've been around these hashtag movements.
Yeah.
Does hashtag Fandom Menace have a shelf life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a prediction on what can they squeeze out 2020 or get through?
I think 2020 is going to be interesting, only because as I said, I forget which video I said it in, like, the Fandom Menace is going to go after Black Widow, right? And they're like, you know, a lot of them like, no, the movie looks good, but then you had Doomcock with that real saucy tweet from the Super Bowl, and he's like, oh my god, whammon. I'm like, okay, dude, have you ever actually, like, I mean, I don't want to assume you've ever touched a vagina, because at this point I don't think you have.
He's overcompensating with his peen hat.
Like, dude, it's an all-female fucking assassination squad. It's always been that. What the fuck do you think it's
like, did you not watch? Is that
canon with the comics?
It's yes. The Black Widow program is all young girls.
Well, they debuted that in the cinema and on
This Week in Woke,
the second Avengers film.
Wait,
they previewed that.
What are we doing this week in Woke? What's that next?
Talk about with the woke police, which Josh used in his video. I was like, no one says that but me.
So, Matt, can I ask you for a prediction? Do you think by summer Or do you think
I think they're going to
Black Widow's the battleground where that needs to be?
I think the elections are going to give them a little bit more longevity.
I think the elections are going to definitely help out. I think they'll survive 2020.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they'll survive. Actually, if I'm going to give a fair long shot prediction, September 2021 is when we'll start seeing.
Oh, that's when the con is. You have to pay for it now.
No, is that when the con is? But that's also when
hashtag pay at the door. Hashtag cover your drink.
I don't even really know what
they know the date too.
so well, the reason why I say that is that's when Kathy Kennedy is going to be leaving Lucasfilm probably. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, in the meantime, any decision that Star Wars makes with Kathleen Kennedy at the helm is going to be heavily scrutinized. Any we got this covered article that says, hey, they're planning on having like a Native American transgendered pro-communist Bernie Sanders supporting superhero, they're gonna run with, even though we got this coverage generally fake news like across the board. So all that stuff's gonna be fueling the fire on that one. Because I was listening to that Josiah Rises video you guys were going through the other day.
That guy is
I felt dumber. No, I'm like buzzword nonsense. Okay. I really thought that the video, like, I thought that my internet was skipping and just kept going back to the same line he kept repeating. And then I realized, oh no, he's really just saying the same thing over and over and over again. But no, that's going to be a fair amount of it. That's going to be where they go. There's always going to be something. It's like Gamergate transitioned from criticizing ethics in games journalism to going as an all-out war against social justice warriors. I mean, a lot of people got big off that are still big off of that, from still going after feminists and SJWs and stuff. I realized into it a ways that's not who I am personally. So it kind of, I had my own issues with everything. But, but here's the biggest factor in regards to Fandom Menace. They've got a community of people. They've got a community of people that will be there for them. And that's not going to go away. So unless they all start going too far and too heavy with it, and that could happen once they have nothing to rally against. And if, like I tuned in randomly to a Nerdrotic stream last week. I was sent a link to it. And they're going like, is Hollywood fixing itself? Like, are we in this new age of like better storytelling? And you could this is coming from Nerdrotic himself. And the vibe I got was that he was kind of afraid of this, of good storytelling, or, something he's not going to be able to complain about, because everything he puts out there is just this sucks, that sucks, whatever. So if that goes away and we have good television again, or geekdom is all good, they're going to run out of things to talk about, and disappear. And then there goes the money. Yeah. And then there goes the money. So,
and then he might have to go out and get a real job. Just kidding. But
no, look, I've been doing this full time. This is a real job. All right. Like I've heard, I know you bring that up a lot, and I got to push back on that one. I pay an ass load in taxes.
Yeah, so do I.
I work 7 days a week.
I work 6.
But I own my home. I have 2 children, that are 2 and under. And so this is a full-time job. And
I have a dog. He's not cheap.
Dogs are not cheap. Dogs are not cheap.
I don't have kids. My wife and I don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
But my point is that when I kind of say that, I don't mean it as necessarily a swipe at you, but I mean one of the things is that you get to comment on things, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what you do for a living. But then you got some of these people from the Fandom Menace. They act like they're laying down railroad track for 10 hours a day, and they try to pitch it like that. I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. So at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying. I'll push back on that a little bit too.
Yeah.
But we'll meet somewhere in the middle. But
I was like, don't get me wrong, dude. It's not like this is like back-breaking labor. Right. Like at no point am I going out there and laying track.
But they try to represent it like it is. It's like, oh, this is hard. They're
just reading articles. They're not even doing their own.
Yeah, they're not even writing the article.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, Matt they didn't even do the research on the article. They just plagiarize the shit out of it.
He doesn't. Matt tries to give a solid take. They just barely read.
Goodbye, sorry. I'm just
okay. They barely read the article and just recycle talking points.
I try to bring up alternate facts as you know, well, not alternative facts,
facts,
but just alternate, not alternative, but alternate. I like, well, for me, it's like if I'm looking at something, I'm like, okay, let me like, because I read like I'm the person that my friends refer to as the human internet movie database. And like they'll call me pissed drunk, you know, they could Google this, but they'll call me pissed drunk at like 2 a.m. and they'll go, hey, what was this movie with this guy? You know, and I'm like, all right, give me some details. And they're like, they just rattle something off, and I'm like, oh, it's this one, you know. And like, so I have a lot of knowledge of over Hollywood and the industry. I've worked in the industry, for Christ's sake. I worked for theaters. I worked in Hollywood. I've worked on movies. I've written and directed movies. You know, I have a knowledge and understanding, and I always find it really funny when I go up against the Fandom Menace in comment sections, and they act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm like,
well, you've been canceled, so that's
like I'm not a person who operates out of a fucking pool house in Pensacola. Okay, like I'm in the shit. I've been in the shit. You know, like I walking down Sunset Boulevard, watching fucking hobos piss on the sidewalk and everything else. Like that's what I've seen while covering shit. Actually, when I was just in LA for Star Wars, I was on Sunset Boulevard and some hobos were peeing on things. It's LA.
It happens.
It happens. You know, like this is true. One time I was leaving Marianne Williamson's house, you know, the former presidential candidate. I was doing videography work for her, and I was leaving her place, and it was 1 p.m, and I was on the corner of Hollywood and Highland, and I watched this homeless lady squat and piss right there at the intersection, and I was eye level with it, and it was 1 p.m. She did not care, and neither did anyone else, and that's LA in a nutshell. So, but no, I mean, like the thing is, like, if you have knowledge and understanding of how this industry works, I do feel that it gets completely overrun by people who are just like, let me tell you an opinion over something that's completely ill-educated. And that does get frustrating because then you have to deal with the fallout from that. You know, I'd love it if everyone had my knowledge.
They'll get traction because you do one video on it. They do 20 saying the same thing. So that helps them in the algorithm because they're seen as a top creator. That doesn't mean they're right. It just means they're willing to shit out.
Yeah, let me tell you this though, right? This is true. This is really funny. This is true. So a lot of people, like I think people in the Fandom Menace watch my content because I cover stuff pretty quickly, and they try to capitalize it on after the fact, right? So there's a scooper that I follow, a scoopster named Mikey Sutton, who's dropped some scoops every once in a while, and he dropped one about a potential, Lando Calrissian show for Disney Plus. So I did a video on it. No one else, as I know, did a video on it. The video didn't do anything because it wasn't a big topic. No one was talking about it, except for John Talks. Right, John talks
out of his ass.
Very true. And he covered it. He covered it too. And then I heard him in a live stream complaining that he covered it and that the video didn't do anything. And I'm all like, "It's because you ripped it off of me." You know. But like I'm saying, that's the whole point. If like I'm like, I don't care. You know, it's information is information is information. People can have ideas, whatever. But but that's the thing is we all kind of pull from each other, and everyone is trying to find that next thing that's going to hit. I mean, the best thing that could happen to the Fandom Menace is Captain Marvel 2 goes into production, right? Like Captain
everything on is Captain Marvel 2. They're talking about Captain Marvel 2 when it's still not even
there's no script.
They're waiting to hate Birds of Prey now. Now everything's
but that DC kind of sucks in the box office. That's not going to net them anything.
Yeah,
I don't think so, unless Matt has a different opinion.
No, I think. Well, no, I read an article today that said it's looking at about I think it's like a 145 worldwide box office for the weekend. And
is that good for that type of movie?
Well, I mean, the budget on Birds of Prey, from what I heard, is only like 70 million.
All right.
And so it's like if you look at the budget compared to like the money it's going to earn, it's going to be more profitable. And it's not going to be profitable as Joker.
I think it's comparable to what Shazam did.
Shazam,
it's not get woke, get broke, right?
No, it's far. Well, I have some friends who have seen it already.
What they think? Can they tell you or no?
They said that it was okay. They said that it wasn't great, but it was fun. That the action was a lot of fun. And the thing that I recall is like looking at some of the demographic breakdowns of Suicide Squad. Will Smith was actually a really big draw for that movie, and then he was like 26%, and like 21% or 23% was Margot Robbie. And so without having Will Smith to counter Margot Robbie for a vast majority of why people are going to go see this movie, I don't know if Birds of Prey is going to be one that necessarily connects well. I do think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to. I think it comes out tomorrow night, right? I got to go buy my ticket because I haven't
Yeah.
go watch
You,
it.
Yeah, I'm
you
taking
think it'll
my
crack
wife.
500 million?
Domestic?
No, worldwide.
Oh, worldwide. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah,
oh,
I'm gonna predict 650, right? And that's a low end. That's a low end. The thing is, in other countries like Brazil, for example, dude, DC is lit. People in Brazil love DC movies,
Oh, no
and
shit. I didn't know
that can do well. We have to also keep in mind that you have to look at the worldwide, and which demographics this is going to do well in. Margot Robbie does have a big fan base, she being Australian. Ewan McGregor is a big enough name. People are going to maybe go check it out for him. But I do think word of mouth is going to be a big factor involving with this movie.
Right. And to go play off, because people, a lot of talks going about it too woke or it's woke or all that other shit. Here's the, as a DC fan, because that's primary. I know I have an Avengers shirt on right now, but I'm primarily a DC fan. As a big DC fan, the thing, they're trying to take two things and see if they could profit off it. Okay. Obviously, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was really popular, and Harley Quinn herself is really popular. My girlfriend loves her, and this and that. Birds of Prey. There are fans that know Birds of Prey, and it was a TV show that lasted for a little while, and they're pretty well known in the comics, and they're pretty badass in the comics. The issue is they tried to mash up this emancipation of Harley Quinn with the Birds of Prey, and that it doesn't work. And I think they did that to give it a female cast, when it's like, if you wanted a female cast, you could have literally gone with the more popular route of her and Poison Ivy. And,
well, that was a Gotham City Sirens. That was originally the plan.
Yeah. And I wanted that lesbian romance so badly.
Made more sense.
It depends on who was Poison Ivy and how far they went with it. If they went with blue as the warmest color for something like that, I think that theater would smell like the ocean every single showing.
I don't know if anyone's seen the Harlequin cartoon on the show.
Girl can dream.
So can a guy.
The cartoon is spectacular. I love it. And if they did the Gotham Sirens, it would have made more sense. You would have had your Harley Quinn. You could have pleased the DC comic fans instead of trying to shoehorn this Birds of Prey thing in there, when that should have been a separate thing or another project. You know what I mean? They just figured they couldn't make enough money probably on Birds of Prey with our Harley Quinn, and that's why they shoehorned them together.
Well, they made a lot of mistakes on that, but we should definitely hold this off until after everyone can see the movie. I know Max here. I can see his eyes, and he's looking kind of tired.
He's really trying to.
I told you, I'm not cut out for long streams.
Hold on. If we keep him on longer, he'll pull the mask off eventually.
No.
This is when Firewire says, Max, 5 more minutes.
I already said it in the chat. I beat you to it, man.
Guys, I'm starting to yawn uncontrollably. What did he leave?
Oh, he dipped.
Oh, no.
Actually, he could just leave the stream on and.
He could technically, yeah. So everyone start saying the N-word over and over.
Oh
I'm
my
kidding.
God.
I'm
chill.
kidding. No, I'm getting him in trouble.
Get his channel killed.
Have a heated gamer moment.
Someone did that. I was on a stream with the Fandom Collective, and I was on a stream. They had an open stream.
You know what? Wait, friends. I just gotta say, because Max left, I have to wake up in 6 hours.
Oh yeah.
All right, you got to dip.
I'm gonna dip. I'm sorry. I was like falling asleep. I feel like for the last 15 minutes, and I'm just
You quitter. I wake up in 5, and
5?
I work 11 hours tomorrow.
Why
but
are you
it's
waking up
fine
at like 4 a.m.?
because Tater's going Tate. That's why.
I got a busy day tomorrow, but I get to sleep in a little bit.
I missed my alarm this morning, so I was so tired. So,
sorry, I'm
thank
also
you
a
guys.
talker, so there's that.
No, I'm really happy to have you on the stream. It's like,
We'll
it's
have
been
Matt
really
back.
Nice. Yeah.
Obviously.
Here.
You guys can stay on. I just want to say something before I go.
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
thank you so much, everyone, for supporting us. Especially Stream Junkies, and then Fandom Friends that's coming up as well. But even I'm really excited to see where the Grey Order goes, and I'm just really excited to get to know all of you and discuss Star Wars.
Yes.
I like discussing Star Wars, and that's honestly all I want, and I think a lot of people want. So, yeah, I'm gonna peace out.
May the force be with you. Bye.
Bye. May the force be with you. Okay. I'm gonna. How do I? Yeah.
It leaves. There you go.
There, she's so cute. Jesus Lord.
But Matt, I did tell, like I was telling people earlier, I don't know if you saw, but on my channel Sunday is going to be the official Gray Order reintroduction, if you will.
So you told me you're taking the name.
Well, I mean, I'm not even taking it. Here's the thing.
It was given to us.
It was given.
Oh,
Gotta take the power back.
I don't know how you own a hashtag, but anyway.
I'm working on it. Believe me.
Working on copyright.
And there was a guy actually, his name's Griffin, who was actually working on some graphic design stuff for it. Who I've been a pretty good friend with, and he's been talking to me, and I paid him for him. So
nice.
we own him. So, and not I mean, we're all pitching in for.
Well, we don't own him like as a person. We just we services were rendered and we paid him.
Yeah. Okay. Come on now. I can't believe that had to be clarified.
I mean,
but yes. So we own artwork for stuff involved with it, and it was given, and he pretty much said that, oh, you know what? Yeah, well, I agree. People think of a Gray Order.
I'm gonna cut you off. You know what? We weren't even given. In fact, it wasn't Josh's. It wasn't ours.
That's why I air quotes.
Yeah, it was all of your. It was everybody's. It's just that we had to take the mantle to do a little bit of organizing, which we're happy to do.
Yeah.
That's
it's being I'm going to reintroduce it on my stream on Sunday. So if you want to stop by, you're welcome.
Let me know what time. I don't know what my plans are.
Yeah, usually I do it at 3 p.m. Central.
Okay,
yeah.
That's like 1 p.m. my time. Yeah,
I'm on West Coast time too, so.
Oh yeah, good old West Coast, best coast, right?
Woo! I hate it so much.
Wait, okay, but I have to. Okay, where on the West Coast?
I'm not even really like I bounce between San Diego and Phoenix.
Okay, but like what part of SD?
Gaslamp.
Yeah, you're complaining about. I lived in Lakeside. Okay, I lived in East County. Do you know?
I'm from the Midwest. Like
but Gaslamp,
we drink beer out of boots. I hate California. I hate.
How can you hate Gaslamp? It is so pretty down there.
Easy. Have you ever been there at 3:00 in the morning trying to feed yourself after a conference? I bet you haven't. But fighting those nightlife crowds are a fucking nightmare. I
moved to San Diego when I was 17. I left when I was 30. What year was it? 5 years ago. 32. Oh yeah.
Well,
I've been out there.
You missed all that gentrification that happened.
No, I was there. I go to Comic-Con. Lakeside is about 20 minutes east of San Diego.
No,
so
if I literally had to pick between a coast to die on, I would pick New York. I would rather jump off the Empire State Building than spend another fucking minute in California.
Take Chicago and just move it onto a coast so I can get the weather and the ocean.
You're not missing anything. The Navy Pier is perfect.
And the ocean. That's all
you had a Ferris wheel until you all complained too much.
I didn't.
It was perfect.
I didn't complain about it. That's Mayor Daley tearing shit down. That's
I know.
No, Emmanuel was mayor when that happened. But yeah, I like the Ferris wheel. I like Navy Pier.
I did too. I got my first kiss there. Fun fact. When I was 19. So, yeah. That was fun.
He's not arguing with her. It's just a little fun ribbing.
Why is Matt arguing with Bashi?
I argue. I can argue over anything, just depending on what the topic is.
Oh, maybe Matt wasn't here for the Incubus story.
No, I wasn't. I was putting my kids to bed.
We'll leave that out because you have a good impression of me now. You might not if you scroll through the comments.
Bashi punches people in the face.
No, it's hashtag Bashi breaks noses. God, if we're gonna do taglines, I get to do them. Okay, like you're not allowed.
You could own that. You can make up the hashtag. All right.
It's true. I was already declared the bouncer of Stream Junkies.
You can be our CEO of Team Flash and come up with the names.
I don't care. Guys, I haven't eaten in like 9 hours and nobody's giving me cookies tonight and I'm sad. So I'm
Well,
gonna
you guys
jump
have a
off.
great evening. I'm gonna dip as well.
All right, fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Firewater.
Have a good one.
It was wonderful to meet you, by the way.
Very nice to meet you as well, Bashti.
Bye.
It's
Have a good
also
evening.
you, Firewater, even though I know you're always busy on Sundays.
Yeah, I work, man.
Time
That's
to
what I
do
gotta
this.
do. I work that non-YouTuber job, man.
Yeah, but
You
then
know,
you
I'm just busting balls. But no, I work a lot of hours on Sunday, and especially because I'm taking Friday off.
Yeah.
But which I very rarely do. But yeah. So I'll try to be there. Not likely though. I'll do the best I can. All right.
right.
Deuces, everyone.
All right,
You
check
guys,
out Max's stream. Call it.
Lunga,
Yeah.
do you want to go over the tenants on the Sunday stream when
Yeah.
everybody's fresh so
Yeah.
we can
That's what I was going to do.
Cool.
I'll go over that on the Sunday stream because we got it all written out.
but
The designs and the logos.
yeah. So guys, so this is it. This is all you're gonna get as far as if you weren't here, tough. This is pretty much the AMA, the Ask Us Anything that we were gonna give you guys about it from here on. It's just strictly Star Wars discourse. If other channels want to collaborate, we're more than happy. And if you have content creators that you want us to feature on platforms outside of YouTube, you guys can find me on Instagram. I'm Hypocrisy. I don't hide. So yeah, be involved, comment as much as you want, engage as much as you want, smash the like button, subscribe, stay tuned. Like we promise that we're going to actually deliver on the community that you were promised last year.
And I popped the Discord link in the chat as well again. So join us on Discord. We're talking there. We're very active. And so if there's things you want to see or want us to talk about or cover, you can talk about it in there too.
Yeah. So. If you have a desire to want to all commune, like we need to know, and we want to know as soon as possible so we can make the things happen for you guys that you want. So just shoot it to us. We're happy to hear it. We're happy to have you. And I am so happy that I have food waiting for me in my microwave. So I am going to see you guys probably.
And Max, remember, this is still your stream. So you have to hit the end broadcast button. We can't do that.
It's true. Yeah. Unless you just want to go all night.
It's just going to run all night long. That's what's going to happen.
It's going to fucking ruin his.
Put up the old test screen from the TV shows when it went after midnight or whatever it was.
Oh, maybe. Brian Hill. Yes, we can talk about the new canon new canon novels. I'm reading them currently, so I would love to.
Something coming up eventually with that because my friend Carmelo owns a comic shop, and I'm in talks with him about setting up some kind of stuff to get at least the comic books, and maybe go over those regularly too. So.
Yeah, we can get Second Street involved, and then I can just continue to shit talk him, like put to his face and on the community thread.
He's like, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever. Bounce off.
No, not like real shit talk. It's just like bros, like like Time Hardy and Shia LaBeouf. We're like, what I'm saying
is he's chill enough that's fine with him.
Oh, well, that's not fun. There's no fun in that.
Yeah, nothing bothers him. He's like,
do you not see the hashtags? It says Bouncer Bashti. Like, I'm not gonna take that.
It's not gonna work with Second Street. He's
We'll see. But Matt, I'm not gonna flex anymore. I'm gonna go to bed, and we'll talk soon.
Definitely. It's good talking with you.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too.
You gotta end the stream, Max.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna go check on my cat. Apparently, he hasn't come in yet, so I gotta go try to find him.
Well, I guess the people are gonna have a blank screen with the stream going through.
Yeah, I don't know why I've done that before.